wager, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose 12 imps would get a few blows in, but I think
much better.
soon enough.
A few blows? They get those fucking missiles.
The goddess bounty guides you, compatriot, but a word of advice. Don't disturb Lady Attenborough. If you can avoid it, Our Lady is most particular indeed.
Enjoy your stay in Sacred Stone, compatriot. May the goddess guide you.
Much better. Whoa there, Hartford. You're not planning on barging into Lady Attenborough's workshop, are you? She's a woman of inscrutable standards, and hardly a wisp of patience. Well, isn't it obvious? An eternal and steadfast glacier like myself is the ultimate in protection. Lady Attenborough summoned me, and Coalface over there, to serve as her own personal bodyguards, though she don't seem to have much of a problem defending herself, do she? Strong as an ox, nutty as a squirrel, and holds this whole village in her right hand to boot. We've been hired to fight for her, and fight we will. But standing guard outside these doors is like having a front row seat to watch the goings-on of a loony bin after dark. The conduit, capital C. I think Attenborough once blew the head off a visitor who dared to say that word without her express permission. Well, I'll tell you this much. If I came upon a cult as intent on sacrificing elementals as this lot is on humans, I wouldn't be poking my nose into the head honcho's workshop. Your kind certainly don't take to it, that's for certain. Without special training techniques, humans will drop dead shortly after touching the stuff. Attenborough said there's a bloke in Silverglen. Brandon, was he called? Anyhow, I guess he's training folks to handle the stuff without getting sick. She calls it an abomination of the goddess's bane. Knowing her, she'll have that Brandon's head on a pike for messing with her precious, poisonous rocks. Ah, those little curiosities Lady Attenborough's always jonesing after. The Immaculates around here are an interesting bunch. They let blood over those gems to turn them into bloodstone. Some sort of powerful relic of magic.
I never saw an imp fight so much as cold. Their Rivalon...
We elementals don't judge much one way or another. Bloodstone, starstone, redstone, bluestone. They haven't an effect on us in any case. I hope you're not getting any ideas about disturbing Lady Attenborough. We're sworn to defend her, no matter how small and squishy the foe.
Well, you know what they say. Now, be careful now, squishy. I doubt Lady Attenborough's in any mood to deal with intruders after losing her apprentice in that little, accident. Oh, come on. Take a single look at this molten fearmaker I call my arm. I'm Lady Attenborough's bodyguard, of course. Though I'm not sure she needs much more than her own two hands to take down anyone who so much as sneezes in her presence. That burn mark that used to be her apprentice must be the third in as many weeks. Take care now, and don't go pestering Lady Attenborough, huh? No need to stir the badger's den. You'll turn the whole town against you while you're at it.
Halt! Before you'll be permitted into my workshop, you'll have to prove yourself more capable than that corpse I once called my apprentice. Tell me, if you too destroyed one of my precious stones, what could you possibly say to save your life? as you've witnessed, I am a most demanding master indeed. Enter then, if you will. Make it quick now. Just because I am gracious enough to tolerate your presence here doesn't mean you're entitled to my time. Ha! What a question! I'm the custodian of Sacred Stone, its chief executive, and its link to the Conduit herself. Yes, the Conduit speaks to me, her elected disciple, and I share her will with the people of our village. Now that you know to whom you speak, perhaps you'll tread more lightly in my presence. Do I look like to you a woman interested in haggling over pennies? Dance and flatter all you like, Weasel. Jarrett is here somewhere, Source Hunter. Hidden in this blood village of hers.
If that be true, girl, I suspect you're in for a nasty surprise about dear old Dad.
As good as a new pen. Into the fray once more. A stitch in time, my friends. Into the fray once more. I've got my eyes on the prize.
What's that gleam? I've got my eyes on the prize. Ooh! Treasure!
I've already mastered this material.
I've already mastered this material.
I've already mastered this material. Damon. Good.
Heard any good tales, my...
Soaked to the skin. I need to dry off.
Listen closely, newcomer. You must follow the goddess's way or risk becoming lost yourself. Before the conduit came, Star Stone was little more than a pretty gemstone used for pure adornment. Fools would...
What shall I do?
We'll have none of that, you hear?
It's no use anymore.
It's no use at all. I won't survive this damn much longer.
I won't survive this damn much
Let us
longer.
out of here.
Then what will I be to you?
Please. I won't survive this damn much
Mercy on your soul!
Let us out of here, please.
Just a heads up, but I found myself on the receiving side of a spot of friendly fire during that last encounter.
By the gods, I'm ever so sorry. Won't happen again. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Don't worry about it. Happens to the best of us. But once we find an inn, you're buying, buddy.
Now this is valuable.
Let us out of here! Leave freely! I won't survive this damn much damn
and I'll
set
set
of
forever
free me or blessed be her name!
Sort of kind, come to think of it.
Badger me not. These lost ones could make a break for it.
Any of those?
What do you think you're doing?
Unending darkness. There aren't any demons about. At least there aren't any of those.
Another innocent has fallen.
A terrible tragedy. We should watch our weapons more closely in the future.
Indeed. The people here have been through enough without their protectors turning on them too.
Aren't any of those?
At least there aren't any demons about. At least there aren't any of those. What's this? Oh, well, don't mind if I do.
Open! Open!
You there, human! Look, I promised not to bust your skull if you help an orc out of this cell. Oh, I'm like a whaling cooking pot in here. Bruthor, I'm called. But I doubt anyone but me remembers that now. I've been in there nearly as long as a lifetime. Don't know why they haven't cut my throat like the rest. Maybe they've grown fond of their pets. Oh, I've been here since I was but a wee lad. Truth be told, these walls are just about all I know. But sunlight, there's something even a big oaf like myself couldn't forget. One day, Source Hunter, whether you help me or not, I'll feel sunlight again. Hey, you! Come on!
Anybody home? Anybody home?
human scum! Your stink is making my eyes sting!
Wait for me! I can't keep up! Bad news travels fast!
faithful minions of mine, you may stay unharmed. You may leave unmolested, but only if you indulge me. I wonder, don't you know? Reflect on that which was, is, and shall be. And I wonder how you would respond to a few hypotheticals, if hypotheticals indeed they are. Then let us begin. Say you meet two soldiers on a strip of beach. They impede your way, the discourteous drunks. Do you accept their orders to accompany them? Or do you stay true to your course and damn their lives?
I would stay true to my course.
So would I.
Now say you meet a starving man. He is eyeing raw fish on a merchant stall as if it were the world's greatest his treasure? Do you slap his hand bent on thievery? Or do you close your eyes to his lawless intent?
I would close my eyes.
So would I.
And finally, say that you meet a creature in distress. A beast of burden, perhaps, wounded while protecting his mistress or master when they were assaulted by lonely bandits. Do you go to great lengths to save it, even though it doesn't concern you in the least? Or do you leave it to die and become carrion bird supper? To me, my goblins, gather round your totem. The spirits die for me, my goblins. Die!
I would go to great lengths to save it.
So would I.
Oh, shameless liar that you are. Your actions and words clash like water and fire into the midst of discord. Hear the spirits speak, my goblins. Kill this serpent heart with serpent tongue. Stab it, skin it.
This totem leaves a nasty taste in the mouth and a vicious slitting at the back of the mind. I smell demons.
In that painted tree? What a strange world you live in.
You may leave my presence, but you may not leave this tribe seat until I have been indulged.
This totem leaves a nasty taste in the mouth and a vicious slitting at the back of the mind. I smell demons.
In that painted tree? Oh, what a strange world you live in.
To me, my goblins, gather round your totem. Dance for me, goblins. Revere me with a jolly jig. Enough. Go and rest. Drink spirit wine.
Gadasha the Bountiful be praised that we have made it out of that hell-sent sandstorm. The hour grows so very late, so very quickly. Pace-slowing impediments such as these will be the death of us should they persist. I've told you parts of the saga that is my life, Hunter. But I have yet to divulge the true reasons for my haste. Perhaps, at long last, I had better do so. So I shall. Hiraka. Never had I known a single word can cut deep. After such, it smiled. Of course it did. Once I knew and so, but then one day, a young woman visited my kingdom. I did. Yes, I hissed. Fool that I was. I should have died that day. But instead, and yet, My bodily convalescence. Like a savage, I lived in the wilds, a companion of beasts in time. Resolve settled within my soul, despite being so irrevocably besieged by dissolution. I decided that I wouldn't accept the shackling of my being so easily. 1,000 years the demon had given me, and 1,000 years I dedicate to pitting my knowledge of demonology against its eponymous creatures. Yes, it is my resolve to kill the thing I summoned, and I have been stalking it for well over 9 centuries. I, hunter, I am nearly 1,000 years old. 25 of them a king, the rest a restless predator. Balberith is the demon's name. If I don't find and slay him before the year is out, my soul will be his to torture eternally. Now you know what drives me. Now you know the reasons for my haste. Either I fail and suffer for all time, or I win and life everlasting will be mine. That is a good question. As for Hiraka, I don't know what happened to her. I have seen my erstwhile palace from afar, a ruin now, a house of wind and dust. Beyond a doubt, she moved on and lies, as we speak, in the arms of another king, assuring him he's only a bit under the weather, that his humors will be in balance again within a matter of days. Poor man. Like all men, he's a fool. Oh, but how I long to be wise. There has to be a first, hasn't there? If I can look her in the eye and denounce her, that shall be a start. But perhaps that day will never come. Born a fool and buried a fool. Perhaps that is simply how it must be. And undoubtedly I have answers. An astute question. The answer is that I can feel his corruption and I can feel we're getting closer. When one has struck a deal with a demon, the villain gets under your skin, becomes part of you. Like a worm he is, ceaselessly slithering through my veins. Balberith is ever present, but his presence will one day give him away. That I am hunting him is the last thing the cur will be expecting. Let his complacency be the death of him.
Great spirit rum.
More prey.
What a life it is that Jehan has led. Like listening to a great tragedy. A tragedy that is about to come to an end.
If that is how it must be, so be it. Jehan must reap what he has sown.
Agreed. If Jehan has made his bed with demons, he may well have to lie in it.
don't you? Then let us.
I would. So would I.
Now say.
So would I.
And finally.
I would. So would I.
Oh, shameless liar that
I would leave it to die.
So would I.
Oh, shameless liar that you are. To me, my goblins, gather round your totem. Dance for me, goblins. Revere me with a jolly jig. Enough. Go and rest. Drink spirit wine.
I would stay.
So would I.
Now say you.
I would slap.
So would I.
And finally.
I would leave it to die.
So would I.
Oh, shameless liar that you.
Our great totem has welcomed you into our fold, it seems.
Once more, the filth talks, your wagging tongue. Oh, insolent and ignorant pigster village. She, Hoghide.
It's eating up. The totem has seeded your soul.
It's a mirage.
Hello again, my gracious ally. Would you care to trade? I'm flush with merchandise since the totems asked the goblins to donate their best equipment to the shaman. So, you stumbled upon my particular method of ministering to my tribe. There's just nothing so special afoot here, Source Hunter. Believe you me. You see, not so long ago, one of our tribesmen stumbled across a mysterious red stone. We found it shiny and pleasing to the eye, so we installed it in our spirit totem. But soon it began to speak. A demon's voice it was, dark as night, and each of the goblins took it as the voice of the spirits made manifest. Where once they turned to their shaman for guidance, now they only have ears for that blasted totem. But I would not be so easily overlooked. I found this cave and built myself a device that would allow me to dispense guidance, as is my right, through the guise of the totem. The demon keeps his nose out of it, as long as there's enough bloodshed to go around. Though he did see fit to make an appearance when it came to questioning you. What's so special about a thick-necked pig's skin? I can't say, though. But there's no reason we can't keep this between us, friendskin. After all, better one of the tribe looking after it than a strange demon, wouldn't you say? Come now, Source Hunter. There's no need to interfere in goblin affairs. All you've got to do is climb back up that ladder and go about your business as usual.
The goblins deserve to know they're being controlled by a fraud, and we'll be the ones to tell them.
Indeed. I'm sure they'll be shocked to hear they've been doing the bidding of a washed-up shaman.
I won't let you spread your filthy lies to my goblin brethren, but if you won't stand down, I'll stand up.
could drown my sorrows with ale.
We have left a chest of our finest treasures at the totem's feet. Please accept these gifts we have gladly given at the totem's behest.
Did someone leave an oven door open? Here?
Baking like a cake.
icicle of torment.
potent heat.
Warm as dragon's breath.
My arrow tastes blood. It craves more.
Blessed may you be by all seven gods, dear champion. But for your timely intervention, I would have ended up in either an orcish cauldron or the goblin slave pen, whence these thugs were ordered to march me. I'm from Hunter's Edge, a hamlet to the east of here. Heed my advice, and stay well away from that pitiable place, for no human may walk there freely anymore. The orcs came in the night, and we stood as much chance as chickens would, locked in a hen house with a pack of starving wolves. Not to mention that our champion Medora had already abandoned us. Those who escaped their initial frenzy, eluded their horrid hunger, were all enslaved. I myself was en route to be sold as a slave to the goblins, but those idiot orcs denied to pay a troll their eternal troll toll. Needless to say, a fight ensued. A fight that brute of a troll won with flying colours. We merry three were the only ones to escape the carnage and taking a bit of a breather, that is to say. The fight had made my orc guardians hungry once more. Had Pudgy Pete survived, it'd have been skinned and chopped by now. Regular devils, these orcs. Go ahead. The goblins have been the masters of Silverglen's mines for a while now. Took it by force. From what I hear, the erstwhile miners back in the village have no idea their brethren from Hunter's Edge are being forced to slave in their lost quarry. The more fool them. Ask me not why it has been the nucleus of such strife, for I haven't the foggiest. In truth, I don't intend to find out either. Thanks again for freeing me, dear champion. I'll make a dash for it to Seal, and hope the undead there have grown sluggish enough for me to slip by.
Seems like these trolls have been busy of late.
Must have been powerful indeed to overcome so many. Orcs and humans both.
Look! One of the alien aspect approaches. Go on, my boy. State the ancient demand.
Troll.
Well nigh correct, my son, but not quite.
Troll.
You come very close in your approximation of the venerable bit, my boy. But a tiny flaw distorts it still.
Troll.
Capital, my son. Most excellent. I'm very proud of you indeed. Now then, dearest wanderer of Lucula's leaf-strewn lanes, you have heard our inviolable command. Pay us, trolls, the toll that is our prerogative, and the bridge shall be yours to cross. I am Bridgekeeper Archibald, and this wee cherub is my dear son, Amadeus. I'm in charge of his education and will see to it that one day he shall become the greatest bridgekeeper ever to have voiced the hallowed tenet. Troll toll, yes, so he shall. So he shall indeed. Ask them, and I shall answer. Those clubbed unfortunates over yonder, they did not pay the toll, traveler. And to be clubbed, I'm afraid, is the fate that indubitably befalls those who do not heed the infrangible doctrine that is troll toll. They say only one of your kind has ever met him, and even that is but a rumor. Aradino is the name this exception went by. A sorcerer. Know you, so quit that grimace of eccentric character. I was told he had a lair upon Lucula's desert plain, but have never seen proof myself. All for the better, I believe. For should he have stood in the presence of the king, his presence would have been snuffed decisively and brutally. Bang! With a bang indeed, Amadeus. Because our king deems it equitable that we should do so. His word is law amongst us trolls, and by extension, anyone who travels through his lands, the woods of Lucula. Now then, my boy, please acquaint our aspirant bridge crosser with the quantity of the toll they must pay.
The toll is 1,000,000 gold coins.
Indeed it is not, Amadeus, as you very well know. Greed is a vice, my son. It is a vulture most vile that preys on virtue. Cast it from your soul and restate the pecuniary levy we desire with all your heart's honesty. 1,350 coins, please, traveler. 1,350 coins.
1,350 or 1,000,000. We won't pay you two a penny.
Well spoken. Stand aside, trolls.
How very base and discourteous. This underling denies us our primordial privilege, tramples the sacred words of wisdom, the pious parole that is troll toll. For this we cannot stand. Say it, my boy. What do we do now?
We go clubbing! The louts will get away! Oh, do stand up!
Bless the seven, I am restored! Oh.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome.
Howdy. Lovely day for a romp through the forest, ain't it? Ha! Like hell. Goblins round here swarm as thick as flies round my cattle's asses. Put an accent. So, I'm Roy. I'm in the animal trade. And it's my latest set of merchandise. Joy to herd 'em, that lot. And full of lunatics, that place. Or so I've been told. Must you? Donnie. Boss, I figured right I did, until we met them not but your typical mind. No kidding. Oh, like how you will.
So this cad is leading these beasts to the slaughter. I say we slaughter him.
To the slaughter? I don't understand. If he wants to eat them, he should just eat them.
Whoa.
You there! Cut it out! You have my welcome. Now... Hey! Stop that!
The time of your death is at hand!
The hero of the hour, nay, the century. How agreeable it is to my champion. Well said, my. Perhaps we could seek those legendary pastures that nasty creature of a Roy described.
Follow your
Agreed.
Yes, I had hoped.
Want, but I'm not interested. Later.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
Oh, do you hear it, friend? The forest music hums, buzzes, falls and rises like waves, like starlight through the atmosphere. Imagination, friend. It's imagination that transforms this music into the surreal. Perhaps my music can help you unlock your dreams. Perhaps one of my compositions could add some modicum of joy to your life. I'd be so happy to share this gift with you. If it please you, select something from my catalogue. Oh, may its cadence bolster and soothe you, my friend.
Quickly, before my audience disperses. I can't seem to convince Mrs. Hollingsworth there to choose a tale. Would you mind doing us all the honor? I'd be harrowed to sing to you of Brachus Rex, the last Source King. Delighted to sing of Astarte, the fallen goddess of the source. Terrified to tell you of Babe Oape, the hag of death. Ah, and so sing I shall, Source Hunter. But I warn you, the legend of the king is less story than history. And as realities tend to be, this tale is far more fantastic than fiction.
Warm as
That
dragon's
most
breath.
terrible of kings.
I wonder if he knows the end.
Very sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's just next God's Day is going to be very eventful for the likes of you. If you meet any wanderers, send them our way, won't you?
But would you have guessed he was once a wee tot, apple-cheeked and darling, and that he loved his twin sister as the moon does the sun? They were forged by their very souls, the twins, and neither desired to live in a world which the other had flown. Yes, Brachus Rex was once Brachus the Babe, and hand in hand with his twin. Another story, Source Hunter, if it please you? Take care, Sauce.
I'm warm as fresh.
Oh, hello, Profess? Hardly. Who can stand those dried-up old windbags with their podiums and their gavels and their big curly wigs? Wait, what were we talking about? Ah, yes, Source Hunter. I do not profess to see the future. I simply do. I am the knower of secrets, the conveyor of fates, and have been since the age of 2. I'll have roasted rabbit for supper next week. My firstborn, Charlio, will arrive on a clear-skied afternoon, and in 7 years' time I'll inherit a pouch of gold as big as a dragon's egg. All this assuming, of course, you do not fail in your mission.
She tipped it close.
Well, certainly not the whole story, if I'm perfectly honest. A rare event, indeed. Some threads are missing from this particular cat's cradle, but I've worked out the major details. It seems, Source Hunter, that the fate of all of us mere mortals rests squarely in your hands. The truth is a grande dame, Source Hunter. I'm sure your jumpy, impish friend would quite agree with me on that point. And I'd like the voices in my head to quit their mewling, but they insist to me as I'll insist to you. Money talks. 6 secrets I may have for you, Source Hunter. Granted you can pay the price. I seem to have found a little something in which you might take some interest, Source Hunter. Hand me your map, and I'll show you just where to set your digging machine.
But still his torso lurched forward.
That depends. How much have you got? Choose carefully, Source Hunter, for I can only consult the heavens for you a single time. One mustn't become too greedy regarding fate. No, no. A glut of foresight can drive one rather batty indeed. Ah, I see you place no small value on the opinions of the stars. Very well. Let us see what the cosmos has in store for you, Source Hunter. I see. Oh heavens, my word, it is he! I see you standing before him, cowed in his magnificence, and he's simply beautiful. But you face him with your weapon raised. You demand he release what he's captured. My eyes, Source Hunter. I cannot bear to look at him any longer. No, enough! Enough! Away from... What's this? I found something.
I'm crawling like a rat here.
awaits you.
Closely in a mist.
persist through these sands where spiders dwell. I hate them with fury and fear. Some say that all creatures are creations of the gods. If this be true, then surely spiders are the exception. Such things could only have crept into existence from within the very bowels of hell's most rancid devil spawn.
We will nurse your hatchlings, O Queen of Queens. We will cherish your aspect within your children. The Queen's cubs are ours to nurture, ours to adore. Join us in this world.
Avoid them if you can, please. They stir something deep within me, a primal dread that claws at the soul.
Ours to adore. Join us in this world.
Thank you for your understanding. Many would mock such a seemingly senseless neurosis. But that is the point entirely. It is irrational. Irrational because it is the nightmare of the dark, the child's fear of the long-taloned ghoul under the bed. It is something I can neither fathom nor control. And though it shames me, it does remind me I am but human still. Once in a while, I admit I welcome such a reminder.
The Queen of Queens.
Your grave opens to welcome you! Time of your death is at hand!
From within the embrace of the cocoon of the eight-legged giant, we shall live lives of From within the embrace of the cocoon of the eight-legged giant, we shall live lives of dreams.
Hatchlings, oh Queen,
Our nest welcomes you, O wandering minion of the Queen. We have devoted ourselves to the great Dream Weaver, the eight-legged, eight-eyed and eight-sensed lady of spun time. Man has ruled this world as a fumbling, foolish child king long enough. As his reign withers, the Dream Weaver shall rise. Whatever do you mean? We are all mere threads of gossamer in the Weaver's web, yourself included.
The lot of them are more dinner in waiting than devotees. They've got to get out of here.
In my experience, hungry arachnids are hardly impressed by religious devotion.
You'd have us believe our Queen endangers us? How could the favour of Fang, The present of poison frightened the weaver's own children.
The Queen's cups are ours to nurture, ours to adore. Join us in this world, oh dream weavers.
Oh, in truth.
And no harm shall befall us, and no dream shall escape us, and thus we praise her.
Enough of that now!
Face the unending darkness.
Glory in this death.
Frost-capped scour!
I don't have the right tool for mining.
Wait for me! I need hastening!
Southeast to Hunter's Edge, north to incomparable suffering. Well then.
Southeast it is. For now, at least.
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
Oh there. A word of warning, wanderer, afore you continue on your merry way. See these corpses here? Be a good fellow and take them as a hint that this town isn't the pastoral little paradise it once was. Ha! Immaculates, orcs and humans both, have taken Hunter's Edge. Its villagers are now slaves in the mines to the west, or they've been bled dry of their last drop of life, reduced to mere fuel that must light the wicked candle that is Bloodstone. Long as you live in the limbo between coming and going, though, why not have a look at what I have to sell? You'd be surprised to see what a scouring skeleton can gather together in a dying town. Yeah! Well, don't go round angering Immaculates if you want to keep your vitals intact. Though perhaps it won't be very long before they have a stab at one another's vitals instead. I have the feeling there's trouble brewing between the orcs and the humans in there, and who can blame 'em really? Just ain't natural for 'em to consort, I say. Only good orc... Well, you know how the phrase goes.
Come on, time's a wasting.
Can't say I remember who I was before the change came over me, but these days I'm a travelling trader of sorts. There's an immaculate necromancer in the village ahead. She's the one who brought me back from, well, wherever I was. She's an especially bright one, you know. Most necromancers can only revive a dead corpse into an animated one, but she manages to yank back some semblance of consciousness too. I don't remember much, but the thrill of trade certainly calls to me. Maybe I was a merchant in my former life. Who knows? These days, most undead are busy haunting Seal or picking the way in the Lucula mines. But I keep a low profile and stay out of sight. Haven't been bothered by an immaculate yet, and I hope to keep it that way. I know the weapons of which you speak. I've even hidden away a piece of one myself. I had planned to pass it down to my son, but well, maybe you could make better use of it now.
I'm warm as fresh apple pie.
I'm
Warm as dragon's breath.
Why, you're still alive. Way to beat the odds, Wanderer. An intact finger. Just what that deviant of an orc was looking for.
I'm warm as fresh.
My, you're still alive. Way to beat the odds, Wanderer. captured, trampled. Ugh. To think I could have made a fortune selling all of these to a whimsical taxidermist.
I could do with a cold drink.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
Come on, time's a wasting.
Crikey, sounds like a frightful place indeed. Leandra's lair. Her involvement grows more sinister by the hour. We must find her sister Akara. I'm watching on with weary eyes how the Immaculates strike again. They've gone from shedding blood among their own to recruiting orcs and cutthroats to do it for them. From what I can tell, the village of Hunter's Edge is this cult's most wretched victim. It was once a quiet sort of village. Families and small-time merchants mostly. Recently, it was targeted by a tribe of orcs waving the Immaculate banner. Their leader, Grutilda, is known far and wide for her cruelty and cunning. She oversaw the murder of countless villagers and used their blood to fuel a great number of bloodstones. Once they were dead, they were reanimated as undead corpses and sent to work in the mines of Lacula. By order of Leandra, the orcs were joined by a tribe of humans from the northern peaks of Tanneroth. A band of male warriors are they, and they devote allegiance to their leader, Jarl. Jarl arrived with his own formidable supply of bloodstones, which means his tribe has been operating under directions from the conduit for some time. Where once they ransacked for base pleasure and material gain, now they do it by the will of the goddess. These are far from the blindly devoted Immaculates of Silverglen, however. The orcs and the humans here alternate between bitter fighting and hostile peace. Personally, I believe they're best exploited through their rivalry. Get them to fight each other, and you can stand on the sidelines and warm yourself upon the flames.
Hey, you! Come on, time's a wasting.
You can speak. You don't look like a tribesman or orc, but I suppose I can't be certain. Then again, I've never heard of a dark soul gifted with the speech of the wild.
Jinxica is my name. And until recently I lived a placid sort of life among the people of Hunter's Edge. The baker might leave me a bit of milk left over from this breakfast. The barkeep stroked my back between filling glasses. I had many friends here, but none so dear as a little trio. A married pair and their daughter, employed by the wizard to keep his home. They spent many long hours squashing fleas that plagued me and shared their warm beds with me each night. If you come to this village to help and not to harm, you might be able to save those 3 kind souls from the orcs that have invaded. Ugh, such misery in our sad town. A kind but private man he is. He set up his home here several years ago, but never remained there long enough before jetting off to tend to some matter or other. The Dark Invaders seem very interested in him indeed. They've been skulking around outside the house since they arrived, but not even one of their filthy vermin can penetrate the wizard's protective enchantments. Would that an invasion were all! They destroyed every crumb of life they could find and sent their filthy rats to seek out those who evaded them. Each life they took infused their strange stones with power. Their queen glowed with delight as a parade of victims were slain before her. It was as though she was taking in a beautiful song. The human tribe came shortly after. They had their own supply of the glowing stones, and the orc queen took no easy liking to them. Still, it seems they are working towards some similar goal. They haven't destroyed one another. Yet. They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out. But I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, those 3 sweet souls may be found at any time. Savages by savages employed. The orcs have one among them. The rat catcher, they call him, who claims to have trained rats to do his bidding. They've swarmed the place in search of hidden villagers, and unless every last one of them is split from tail to snout, they're sure to find my friends. But you're not like the brutes inside those walls. No, you approached me with hand, not boot, outstretched. Perhaps you could help me. With these rats running about, it's only a matter of time before my friends are caught. They must be squashed, every last one of them. I've done my best so far, but there are simply too many for one set of claws to handle. With your help, though, with your help, it could be done. The rats gone, my friends safe. Oh, that bothersome old Tom. No, he and I are hardly friendly, much less friends. I've much more important things on my mind than him and his incessant pestering. I can slip through these walls as I please, but you'll need to find your own way into the village. And remember, my friend, kill every last rat you find, or 3 dear souls will be lost.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
You there, Flatlander. Stay at your business. You look a bit too scrawny to do much damage, even if you tried. In the worst case, the orcs would cut you into roast if you tried anything funny. If you're looking for the leaders around here, you've got 2 to choose from. Jarl, the chief of Wave the Mountain, and Gratilda, the gnashing orc she-devil. I'd tell you to enjoy your stay, but I don't think you're here for the fun of it.
I need to dry off.
I'm dripping.
I'd never have judged a few grimy ground dwellers, and lost ones at that, to be worth all this fuss.
Chief knows what he knows. He says, find the cellar, so that's what we do.
Well, for all he knows, they could be knee-deep in forest muck, miles away from here.
The forest? So that settles it. You really are big a buffoon as you look. No one gets into the Phantom Forest, brother. No one.
And the conduit? Chief says she's there as we speak.
That thick brain of yours is better suited for gruel than for thinking. Of course she's there. She's got the goddess within her. Come on, then. We've got a cellar to find. Your tapping won't scare it into the open, you know.
Feel anything strange underfoot? The orcs insist there's a cellar here, but we haven't found so much as a hole for squatting. Someone got the brilliant inkling that the missing villagers are hiding in a secret cellar. This was their home, but there's no sign of anything more than orcish garbage here. The wizard servants they were, and the great queen goon of the orcs thinks they'll know how to get inside the wizard's house. Even if they don't, I suppose she hopes to cut them down, same as the rest of their kin. Plates and rubbish. I ain't a bleeding maid.
Never rains, but it pours, eh?
Hello again. Do you bring good news? They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out. But I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, those 3 sweet souls may be found at any time. Savages by But you're not. They must be
Look here! Look at you! How I admire one whose head is lodged so firmly upon their shoulders, like a spire that rests upon the breadth of its foundations, one and indivisible. Not I, alas. I fare not so, for I may replace my battered cranium as jauntily as a wizard may his hat. Just consider some of these examples here before me. How I admire this one's kingly brow, that one's exquisite jaw, yonder one's deep-set sockets that held a warrior's eyes. Why make a permanent choice? Why not cater to the occasion as called for? I would, but for the question, where does the soul reside? And so I ask, where are you, O ephemeral soul? If in a tooth you may be pulled, if in an arm you may be broken, where are you, O delicate monstrosity? As have we all. Townsfolk would sit on these benches and talk about their day. Children would sprinkle water at one another and snigger. Now their mouths neither talk nor snigger any longer. And all that is sprinkled about is blood. Days pass me by no longer, only the dreams of what was, but can never be again. Surely you jest when you question this question's importance. Say I opt for that there fair-featured sovereign of a skull. What happens if another soul lies therein sequestered? If I play the part of the aforementioned wizard, and swap its rugged lineaments for the feeble ones that are my own, who shall I become? I
Yes. Who is I, then? Were I sure that the soul houses within the chest, within one's little toe, for all I care, I would fret not so. But the certainty I long for remains as impossible to find as one specific raindrop in the rain. You, oh, I beg of you, have you not the answer?
You needn't worry. Unlike our heads and our bodies, it is we and our souls that are one and indivisible.
I concur. Pick a new skull if you want one. It's not going to change who you are in the least.
But of course, why was I so blind? The soul is not of the body, it is of the spirit. A new skull I shall have, but same person I'll remain. Oh, the agony of choice. I think I'll opt for the one with the kingly brow. What? Where in the blazes? The last I knew was an orc coming at me with an axe.
I'm drenched.
Someone's there.
Is it against orcish custom to take a dip in the river now and again?
You must be itching to lose your fingers if you dare disturb my camp, human.
What are you playing at, Toadskin? Watch how you address us, you betters. You did hear how Oneless Gorak got his name after all.
Yeah, piss off then. Go and gab amongst yourselves like a pair of chickens, why don't ya? I could ask the same of you, small bones. I don't go stopping up to you in a...
Baking like a cake.
If you keep that up, we're through. It'll be the noose for me and the rat for you. Is that what you want?
Keep what up exactly? I was only having a bit of fun.
One side. I ain't got time for chatting till I find the damn thing. What does that matter? Quit buzzing in my ear before I squash you like we did the rest of the pests in this blasted place. The key to the armory, of course. Hasn't that frog-skinned oaf been roaring about from here to the warehouse?
I'm not expected to find foolish ignorance among hardened warriors.
You've read the Hannic cycle, haven't you? A burning battle, blooded light, were nothing to Han's lover's eyes.
You'd be too if you'd misplaced something of Gratilda's. I once saw her skin her own foot soldier alive for mispronouncing All Mother. And he'd only done it after she'd knocked his teeth out for sneezing in her presence. What's worse is, the coward's blaming his troubles on me, only 'cause I happened to be passing by when he noticed his armory key was missing. I'd tell him to piss off and be on my way, but he threatened to tell Gratilda it's me who stole it. Somehow, I doubt I'll get to tell my side of things before my head was shorn clear off. Not a damn thing in all the 12 hills of hell. This idiot orc has no idea where he's lost the damn thing. So he's taken to blaming me, a passerby. It's just like an orc to save his own skin by flaying someone else. Big ugly brute making me do his dirty work. I bet his skull had...
I'm overheating here.
Blasted mosquitoes. Never a moment's peace with these filthy vermin buzzing in me. Oh, ho, ho. Brother, I've crossed me pests. 'Tweren't a tiny winged bloodsucker whining at me, but a tiny footed one. Brother, I think the human's asking me a question. Think I ought to tell the tiny pest who I am? Or ought I tell her I lost his horn in a scuffle with another ickle human? Maybe it was this one's brother. That pesky bugger might have got me on, but I've got some.
Nice to see a fresh face that ain't green as troll snot.
The dog looks up at you with misery-ridden eyes. Its tail doesn't wag, and when it tries to bark or speak, only silence reaches your ears. The dog hangs its head, then looks north. Filled with fury, it barks noiselessly in the direction of the forest.
Say, what's a Zandalore anyhow?
What about you there? Tell me, how's your vision? Any ailments in the liver or spleen? Lost ones are everywhere these days, after all. I am a servant to the goddess, of course. One of the first among her enlightened in Revelon, and certainly the most devoted. I've scoured the region for unworthy souls, and am quite efficiently cleansing the land of lost ones great and small. How much better the lost serve her as bone automatons. My expertise as a necromancer is unmatched, you know. I've a success rate is nearing 99%. They end up with their brains a bit, well, scrambled. You can find such a fellow opining over skulls somewhere around here. One of my more harmless false steps, I think.
Ain't they a lovely sight up there, all in a row? Sang 'em up myself, I did. Each of the little darlings. A sweeter sight I couldn't ask for. I never did much care for the term myself. I'm more of a caretaker, you see. The world's a wild place, unpredictable at best. But here, on these gallows, there's peace, calm. I keep the order, and my little ones stay in line. Condemned in this life, perhaps, but when they come to rest in my lucid, their sins are washed away. These aren't thieves and murderers and traitors, you see. After I've laid them to rest here, they're pure as angels. My little angels. Most of them, yes, but that's far from my only order of business. Our great Queen Grachilda is no stranger at getting her claws bloody, and she'll not hesitate to pluck out a pair of eyes what look at her sideways. I handle all the dreaming dears when she's done with them all the same. Whether they're my little ones or hers makes no difference. I'm happy to bring them here to rest among me and mine. It should be an honour. Where ought we to start? Paulie came first. Oh, I remember. Oh, good. Well.
To send Grachilda over the edge, does it?
Who'd have thought the greatest threat to the Immaculates would be one of their
You
own?
look like a discreet sort. Come here, why don't you? Hey, you, stranger, over here. You look like you could use a leg up against the competition. Isn't that so? humble trader, my lord. There's always plenty to get around after the raising of a village. I collect a bit of it and bring it to market. Tenebrium's awfully valuable after all. No reason wares of this caliber ought to rot in some coffer. Why, my lord, I wouldn't dare steal from the All-Mother. A grave crime, that'd be. No, no. I simply pick from the loot she hasn't quite. With pleasure, my lord.
Withholding loot from his so-called All-Mother. Interesting indeed.
A bit of information well kept in our back pockets, I do believe.
What's this? I need to dry off.
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
I've spotted something interesting.
What's this?
I found something.
Blood brothers of Yar. You there! The armory's off limits, you hear? Take another step and you'll be looking for your teeth at the end of a rainbow. 'Cause it's a goddamn crime scene, isn't it? Our bloody bloodstones were stolen. The old body lot of them. Everybody's pointing their grubby little fingers at Garrett because he was on guard duty at the time. Yeah, it may be a tad suspicious that now he's missing. But I'll eat pig ball soup if he had anything to do with it. I mean, just look at this shattered door. There's Orchid Bot written all over it. But I'm done talking about this mess. Ask Jarl if you're so bloody interested. I told you where you'd find your teeth, didn't I? Now bugger off!
What a deluge!
Gods be cursed! Have you no ears, jackass? Fine. I'll cut a couple holes in your head.
These toxins cannot survive.
Baking like a cake.
In from Silver Glen, Flatlander. Ain't got the rot, have you?
You'll not get a peek at these prisoners without Jarl's permission. What's going on in there ain't for the faint of heart anyway. What are you up to, sneaking around here? Got a soft spot for those damned to the rack, do you? Well, unless you've orders from Jarl himself, scram! Or you'll be next in line. A son of the mountain am I, and a blood brother of Jarl besides. Chief placed me in charge of guarding the hatch to the prison cellar. Knows I won't hesitate to split the throat of any man or orc who tried to come or go without Jarl's say-so. Want to get your hands on the flare knives, do you? You'll have to see Jarl about that. The way I figure it, he'll be happy to have a reason to change the guard down there. We'll never find out where those villagers are hiding if these orcs club every last witness silly.
Soaked to the skin.
What's that gleam?
Soaked to the skin.
I'd prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
Well, what's this I've spotted?
I've spotted something interesting.
And from Silver...
Oh, I'm dripping. What's this? I found something. I've spotted something. Well, what's this I've spotted? What's this? I found something.
No, get you away. Yazok of mountain apes, hogs. Your kind not welcome. Go, or you will bleed.
sweeping force to stun my foes.
Seven cry bitter tears.
The unending darkness.
Spirits of water, show your strength!
I've spotted something. What's
I'm
this?
drenched.
I found something. The trail ends
Set over a long,
if blood loss
narrow
didn't
vent.
kill the sorry fellow,
A corpse may have
surely
fit
the
through its
fall did.
bars, but a
That's the
living
knight's
body would
tomb
find it
beneath here.
quite unpleasant.
I guess it'll be more than one mystery we uncover within its depths.
The grate is set over a long, narrow vent. A corpse may have fit through its bars, but a living body would find it quite unpleasant. Exegeter, Trohol Exil Titan River.